I am coming to you guys from a wonderful hotel room at the Spokane, Washington Fairfield by Marriott Inn. It's nice here. If you're in the Spokane, Washington area, I've got no complaints. I've seen nicer, but I've also seen a lot worse. I've got no real complaints about this place. So there's my shameless shill for the establishment I'm in. It's not a shill. I don't. They don't even know. They don't even know who I am. But I stay at a lot of these hotels, so I'm gonna comment if they're good enough to not be worth complaining about. A kitchen would be nice. I mean, I could take a kitchen, especially if I was here more than one night. I'd definitely take a kitchen. But anyway, so what we're talking about today is why it doesn't matter which OS is better. So, in my opinion, and I believe this could be very controversial because some of you are you're pretty tied to your operating systems. So I have no loyalty. Okay. I'm not loyal to Microsoft. I'm not loyal to Linux. I'm not loyal to Apple. I have a belief, and again, this is going to be controversial because some of you think that pure absolute correct is correct and absolutely wrong is wrong. And in my opinion, that is not true. So when it comes to OSs, my opinion on the matter is that the best OS is the one with the best developer support. It does not matter if you think Linux is better, if you think Windows is better, if you think Mac OS is better, if you think Android is better, if you think iOS is better, if you think Chrome OS, if you think Unix or whatever you can dig up does not matter. It's irrelevant. In my opinion, again, this is my opinion. So a lot of you are going to disagree. Some of you are going to agree. But what matters at the end of the day is can I do what I want to do with the operating system? And what I've been finding in after I started making these videos about my complaints with Windows, and everyone started literally harassing me about you should switch to Linux. I get hundreds of these comments. It's almost hundreds of these comments a week now. And after I did some research on it, you know what? I could get a lot of my stuff to work on Linux, but not all of it. Okay. I'm not giving up Adobe because you say so. Okay. I use Adobe. I've been using Adobe for 20 years. I'm not interested in using something other than Adobe. If I have to, if I am forced at the point of a gun, will I switch to Adobe? Yeah, or switch from Adobe? Yeah, if I physically have to. If Adobe goes away or dramatically ceases to be the product I've used all these years, yes, I could change. I'm not interested in changing though if I don't have to. It's not laziness. I'm happy with the way the Adobe product works. Microsoft Windows. Am I annoyed at some of the telemetry and some of the data collection and this attempted push towards hardware that really isn't necessary? Potentially damaging the used market that I very much value and love as basically part of my existence as a techie person. Yes, I am. But fundamentally, I like Windows. Okay. Now that's something that a lot of people here seem to miss is that software for the software's sake alone, there's more to it than that. And the fact is, the operating system I have chosen to use, Microsoft Windows, for the time being, and the time in the past, like 20 years of it, has been the best option to do what I want. Now, if Mac OS had become the dominant OS, I'd be on Mac OS today. If Linux had become the dominant OS with the developer support and was the one that just worked with everything, I'd be on Linux today. Like, I have no loyalty to Microsoft. Microsoft hasn't done anything for me. I think Bill Gates is a piece of crap, if you want to know my opinion. In fact, I don't like Steve Jobs fundamentally, everything I've heard about him as a person. Um, but everything that I have, the research, all the stuff that I've seen when I've looked at the history on this stuff, is that Steve Jobs was a genius and Bill Gates was right place, right time, basically. Um, and I've seen some stuff about some of the shady stuff Bill Gates did back in the day. You know, there are those that accuse him of basically more or less stealing OS, you know, things like that. You know, I don't know how much of that is true, but there's a lot out there that there was a lot of shadiness that went on back in the early days. And um, Steve Jobs seemed to be a genuine visionary. I mean, we only have these because of Jobs, okay? Before Jobs, mobile phones were a joke, right? I mean, and we live on our mobile phones today. So, you know, this handheld camera that I'm doing this video on, the camera technology in it is technology that I think largely was developed as a result of trying to push the boundaries of camera gear that could be, you know, embedded in a cell phone form factor. So I think Steve Jobs was a true visionary, and unfortunately, the product he made, some would argue it's better, that Mac OS is better. If I understood correctly, I was under the impression Mac OS is partly based on Linux, or maybe is Linux taken into proprietary format or something along those lines. But yeah, I have no, you know, it's like my Honda Civic. All of my friends think I'm a Honda fanboy. I'm not a Honda fanboy. I don't particularly like or dislike Honda Civics. Honda Honda is the one that offers me a vehicle that does what I want it to do. It's reliable. It gets insane gas mileage. It lasts forever. Okay, if I could get that out of a BMW M4 or a Ford Mustang or, you know, any of those fun cars, I would. But I have chosen to stick with a Honda Civic because I do not wish the vast amounts of my disposable income to go towards my vehicle. You know, I have other things, all the stuff you see me doing on this channel. It's not cheap. I mean, come on, you guys see some of the gear that I play with on here. It's not every day, but you know what I got, and it's not cheap stuff. And so I wish to spend my money largely on that. Now, if I get to the point where, see, it used to be I was broke and I couldn't afford any nice stuff. Now I have gotten to the point where I make enough money that I can have one expensive hobby and I've got enough money to basically do whatever I want within that hobby. If I get to the point where I surpass that and I then have money for a secondary expensive hobby, it will probably be cars. If I get to the point where, I don't know, this channel is making, you know, $50,000 a year or something stupid like that, it'll probably be cars next. But right now, I have the money for one expensive hobby, and it's tech, and so that's where I wish my money to go. Um, but in any case, yeah, I'm not a fanboy. I follow products that do what I want, and I hate to tell people this, but Microsoft Windows does what I want as of right now, and if I am forced to change from Windows, I will. But I'm not going to change from Windows just because some culties of Linux decided to tell me that I was lazy because I didn't do so. It's not going to happen, guys. You know, so anyway, that's my opinion, which really boils down to the product that achieves the largest share of the market, or at least I'm sorry, the product that achieves the greatest degree of developer support. I suspect they would generally be congruous. You're probably, developers are out to make money, therefore developers are going to develop for the number one place where they can make money. But my usage is going to follow the best developer support. So that's kind of my answer to that question. So I hope you guys find this interesting, and thanks for watching the video.